Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 15th episode of Sparkcast Media. I'm your host, Austin Bradley, joined, as always, by my co-host, Brian Sparkman.
Hola, what is up, guys?
Short little break, about a little bit over a week.
Yeah.
Almost 2.
2.5, 3.
I don't think it's been that much.
About a week ago.
2 weeks ago, something like that. But we're back. We have plenty to talk about. NFL free agency was hot and heavy. A lot of moves. Ads, subtractions, divisions, and multiplication.
And owners telling QBs no.
That's true. And Justin Fields traded for a bag of chips.
Just a bag of chips.
Yeah, that's all it was. But we have all of that and so much more to talk about. And I think we'll save all the NFL talk, as we usually do, for a little bit later on. But, Brian, this is your segment. You are the resident basketball man of our podcast. You are up with all the news in basketball. I kind of haven't been on the top of my game recently with it. So why don't you fill me and everyone else in on what's been going on in the NBA?
In the NBA?
Or... It's about that time, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking, it's hot, electric.
We're still in March.
We are still in March. Let's talk about the madness.
All right.
First, I want to talk about the teams that are left. We got Tennessee, Creighton, Purdue, Gonzaga. That's the teams from the Midwest. From the South, we have NC State, Marquette, Houston, Duke. That's the teams from the South. And then from the East... we have UConn, San Diego State, Illinois, Iowa State. And then from the West, North Carolina, Alabama, Clemson, Arizona. We picked our favorites. We talked about this before. Mm. So from the West, North Carolina, Alabama, Clemson, Arizona. Who do you have?
From the West, out of those teams, I'm going to have to go with North Carolina.
Most consistent, promising program, prestigious program.
Oh, yeah.
I have Arizona. They have really good players. They have a player that I love that came from North Carolina.
To Arizona? Okay.
Caleb Love. From the East, UConn, San Diego State, Illinois, Iowa State.
Earlier, I know who I got now. I forgot who I chose just like 5 minutes ago before we started. But yeah, I'm going to take Illinois.
Yeah, I have Illinois too. Bias, it would be hype if they beat UConn. And I am saying UConn's going to beat San Diego State. I got South. Houston, Duke, NC State, Marquette. In the South, I have Marquette.
I'm going to have to go with another prestigious program. I'm going to go with Duke.
Another Duke in North Carolina championship.
Could happen.
In the Midwest, Purdue, Gonzaga, Creighton, Tennessee.
Purdue. We're repping the squad. Mm-hmm. It's Purdue's time, baby.
Yes, it is.
Purdue's winning the whole thing.
Dude, I love Zach Edey. 7'3", won College Player of the Year. He's looking great. Now, a team that surprised everyone, Oakland. Jack Golke. I can't say his last name. Jack Golke. Yep, Jack Golke. He came in against. I have to pull it up real quick. But he came in hot, scorching, off the bench. I think he scored 35 points off the bench, and he was just railing in threes non-stop. They beat Kentucky.
That's a big feat right there.
They beat Kentucky 80-76, and Oakland's a 14 seed, and Kentucky's a 3rd seed.
Yeah, that's a huge upset.
Let's see here. Jack Golke, off the bench, 35 minutes, 32 points, 10 3-pointers made.
Sheesh.
Dude, it was ridiculous. He was like, they're calling up plays, like he was coming off screens like Curry and just catching and popping. Like he wasn't even thinking about like where the defense was. He was just like already in a shot. And like there was one play specifically, I literally my mouth dropped. I was like, no way. He grabbed the ball at the top of the key. He pump faked. The defender had a hand up the whole entire time, and then whenever he took 2 dribbles, the defender was like defender finally put his hand down. As soon as the defender put his hand down, he let that shit rip, no question, and it was just pure cash. He impressed me. Do I think he's gonna get drafted? Probably not. Do I think he might get like a 10-day contract or training with a team? I believe so.
How old is he?
About my age, 24, 25.
Okay, he's a bit older then.
About 25.
Almost 30.
Almost 30, yeah. Well, he also played, I believe that, though. I'm not 100% about his age. But he also played with a player that I played against at Penn, Noah Applegate, which he probably won't ever hear of him. But no, like, because I went through Instagram, I saw like they played basketball like together at like at the college or whatever, and I was like, no fucking way, like what the hell, small world
out here, dude.
Oh no. Let's go. And then they lost to NC State, or wait, yeah, they lost to NC State 79-73 in the next round, but that was a really close one too. And let me tell you his stats in this one. Off the bench, he had 41 minutes, 22 points, 6 3-pointers. So 16 3-point shots in 2 games.
That's impressive.
Mm-hmm. And he was shooting at a good clip. In this game, he actually had 8 rebounds, too. So he was fighting out there for his team. I like him. Do I think he's gonna get drafted? Probably not. But 10-day contract.
He could get drafted in the second round.
He could.
If not, he'll go to the G League.
Yep.
And, you can always come up from the G League and make an impact.
Every team needs shooters, so if he's a consistent shooter like that, he's for sure going to get a spot, and at least off the bench being a shooter.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or even a starter. I mean, because a lot of teams value shooters, and a lot of teams need shooters. So
yeah, you need shooters because that's the NBA today is you got to have shooters on your team.
So enough about the madness. Unless you want to give a little insight about it.
The only insight I need to give about it is that Purdue is going to win.
I believe Purdue's going to win too. That's my favorite. That's my favorite of the March Madness.
Repping our Indiana boys right there.
Now, convert this to the NBA. Remember when I said the top 10 in the West was sealed? Mm-hmm. It's not sealed no more.
Not quite sealed, huh?
No. Golden State 37-34. Houston 36-35. 1 game separates them from 10-11. Jalen Green's been playing out of his mind. He won Player of the Week, I think, last week.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he was averaging around like in the high 20s, maybe low 30s. But
he was averaging pretty good numbers right there. But Houston come out of nowhere though.
Oh no, I'm surprised, but not really at the same time too, because like they're a young team. OKC, that's a surprising team of the year. Like literally, I talked about this last episode. Like my best friend's a Oklahoma City Thunder fan. He literally thought like they would be like a 4 or 5. They're second. They're fighting with the Denver for a number 1 spot right now. They're half game back.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna keep this short about the East because it's
a lock, dude.
Number 1's locked. Yes.
Yeah, number 1's locked.
Like it's 11 games separates Milwaukee from Boston.
Yeah.
Now, the 10-11, I feel like that's kind of a lock too. It's Atlanta 10 seed 32-39, Brooklyn Nets 11 seed 27-45. They are 5.5 games back from getting the play-in spot.
Yeah, I think that number 1 seed obviously is locked is going to be the Celtics. Mm-hmm. But between 2 and 10 could switch up, but I don't think we're going to have a Houston Rockets over here. Unless the Nets somehow catch fire and start going crazy, I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't see it. They don't have the players, I feel like, for it. I mean, like Houston, I feel like does because they have a young, exciting Jalen Green, lockdown defender Dylan Brooks, antics Dylan Brooks too.
Also have Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, I was about to say. I remember they signed Fred VanVleet. They have how do you say his last name? But you know what I'm talking about. Sengun.
Alperen Sengun.
Alfred Sengun.
Something like that.
Yeah. I like him. He's like he's so underrated. I feel like.
I haven't been watching too much Houston Rockets this year. I can't lie.
I haven't either. But I started watching like 2 games ago because I was like, oh, they're close with fucking Golden State. What the heck? And plus, I saw Jalen Green won Player of the Week. So, Denver and OKC. That's an interesting one here.
Yeah,
I was gonna leave that one for last.
Okay.
So, in Minnesota.
Yeah, we can't forget about Minnesota. They had the 1 seed for a while.
Yeah. Each of these 3 teams had the 1 seed and at some point in the season.
Mm-hmm.
Denver's 51-21.
Yep.
Top dog in the West. OKC's 50-21. So they're half game back. They're a win back.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota's 1.5 games back. 49-22.
Listen, Minnesota, I'm rooting for them to be in 1 seed because he is one of, if not the most exciting players in the NBA today.
Oh, electrifying.
He's
like already comparison to Michael Jordan.
Dude, he is my favorite person to watch. Just like from a strictly entertainment basis. Like obviously, I love to watch Tyrese Halliburton. I love to watch Jason Tatum. But from like entertainment and just like high energy electric plays, Ant's my favorite.
11 games left in their schedule.
I'm really hoping they can win, like get the 1 seed, because that would be a good story. It would be a fun team just to have as a 1 seed over there.
It would be a good story. You don't want to know why?
Why?
They played in Denver 2 times in 11 games.
Look, let them beat Denver. Let them beat them twice.
I don't know if Cat's back or Gobert.
They don't need him.
They at least need one of them.
No, hear me out, dude. Ant's gonna carry him all the way to the 1 seed. Look, Denver can be the 2 seed. Hear me out. If the NBA was scripted, right? If the NBA was scripted, it's not. But if it was, the perfect script, Minnesota goes on their last 11 games and they win them all, beating Denver twice in that stretch.
And Phoenix twice.
Minnesota's the 1 seed, Denver's the 2 seed. Conference finals, Minnesota and Denver. Minnesota has home court advantage.
I think it's possible because they're also playing Detroit in the stretch, Chicago. Houston's a toss-up because how hot they've been, but still winnable. Toronto, winnable. Washington, winnable. Atlanta, winnable.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of winnable games, and the questionable games are with 2 with Phoenix and 2 with the Nuggets. The Lakers are one. Or Lakers, they have the Lakers in 1 game too, but I don't know. I think they got the Lakers.
All I'm saying is that would be a great setup to the conference finals. Minnesota and Denver in the conference finals after they beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to really see Jokic go in there and prove that he is Jokic.
So I'm going to pull up OKC's schedule now. I believe OKC is going to be number 1 seed in the West.
They very well could be, but I like the idea of Minnesota.
Oh, it's a good idea for Minnesota. But I also I just love the story with the Thunder having those many picks and stuff like that, trading for Shea, getting rid of Paul George for Shea, and just developing like all those players and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for the Thunder, they have Phoenix. So I'm gonna say they're hard games. Phoenix, Houston, Boston, and Dallas. and Milwaukee. Oh, dude, they have tough. Because I'm not throwing the Sixers out there because I think they can beat the Sixers. The Sixers aren't that good of a team. Knicks, they're all right. I feel like they're a overhyped team because they're good. They're good, and they're in New York. You know.
I don't know if they're overhyped, but they could definitely steal a win from them.
Yeah, they can. New York is definitely still a win, so that's a toss up. Actually, I'm just gonna say the rest of their schedule because it is actually tough. Like I think they only have 2 winnable games, like for sure winnable, maybe 3. Houston, Phoenix, New York, Philly, Boston, Indy, Charlotte, Kings, Spurs, Milwaukee, Dallas. That's tough.
That's a tough schedule.
Because what? Winnables are Spurs,
Charlotte. And Charlotte. And that's really it.
Yep, that's it. Spurs and Charlotte.
Yeah, that's really it for easy games.
Bro, if they win, that'll be tough.
Look, if they win out and they are number 1 seed, that would be very impressive.
It would be very impressive. So Minnesota is more of a electrifying story against Denver in the finals. Thunder is like it's going to be a tough grid. It's like how the hell did they even do that in the last stretch? Like in the last stretch of that season. Season.
The other thing with that is are their players going to be tired because they've had this tough schedule against really good teams at the end of the regular season. Then they got to go in if they are the 1 seed. They're going to be, they have a little bit of a break, but they're going to be playing the team that came out of the play-in. So the play-in team's going to be a bit more fresh. Maybe the Thunder, they had to face harder teams. Maybe they overlooked this 8 seed.
I was about to say, but what comes with this hard schedule, you're already playing playoff teams. So whenever you go in the playoffs, you're already mentally prepped for the playoffs. And but your body's already kind of in playoff shape because you're playing these Boston was one of them. That's a play. That's a championship team right there.
Yeah. No, so I can see what you're talking about, but I'm just there's some teams where they beat, say they beat Boston along the stretch.
That's a stretch.
If they beat Boston and then they go on and they beat a bunch of other good teams, maybe they lose a couple of them, but it's real close. Now they're playing the 8 seed who just was in the play-in, and they're a young squad. All I'm saying is there could potentially be we already beat these good teams. Why do we have to care about this? And it could go to a 7-game series when it should just be a sweep. Or they could lose in the first round.
I do want to add this, though. The A seed in the West is different, though. It's different this year. The West is so good.
No, that's what I'm saying, but it's all about whatever their mindset is, because they'll either face all these good teams and be like, yeah, we can't lose to anyone, we're gonna beat them, or it could be man, we had tougher teams that we already beat, so we take a little bit easy, and then they extend the series longer than it should go.
Yeah, I my point. I'm also adding on too. It's in the East, say obviously Boston's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
When they go against their A seed,
it's different. It is different.
Yeah, but that's all because literally all 10 teams what? Okay, so I say 10. I'm not including Houston.
Mm-mm.
So Golden State, Lakers. Who are the other 2? I got you.
I will say this though.
Sacramento, Phoenix.
I will say this. If they go up against Golden State, if they do become the 1 seed and Golden State wins and they're playing and they're the 8 seed, it would be different because Golden State has Curry.
Mm-hmm. And they have the experience.
And they'll probably focus harder on them. But if they go up against Sacramento, they're going to overlook them.
Yeah. That's an overlooked team. I give you that. That is a well overlooked team right there.
It all depends on who they face and how their mindset is going into it after the stretch.
Well, okay, the 3 teams, they're if they play, they're gonna come in hot. It's gonna be Phoenix, Lakers, and Golden State. We agreed to that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the one that is they're gonna overlook, we think that is gonna be the Kings, which I agree with you about because that's that is a standard 8 seed right there. I'm not gonna lie, but they're a fun team to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying they're bad. They're 42-30.
And they're also a dangerous team too. Like if they do overlook them, they can drop some games to them. That's what I'm really saying. I'm not saying they're going to lose in the first round. It's possible, but what they really could do is they could extend the series longer and then get to the round, like a next round or the finals, conference finals. They're going to be playing teams that are fresher because they didn't overlook whoever they were playing.
So, like, I have a question. This is funny too because when I looked up, when you compare the Kings to like an Eastern team, not like players wise, but like just like how like you expect them to perform. Like, you know, if you compare it to an Eastern team, what team would you compare them to? Because honestly, it's so funny because it's literally like.
What do you think?
Orlando Magic.
Orlando Magic. Orlando Magic.
And you know what's funny? It's like because I was thinking that, and then I was like, let's see what the Orlando Magic record is. 42-29. So the Kings 42-30 are about the 5th seed in the East. They would be they would be half game back from the Orlando Magic.
Mm-hmm. But I'm also thinking about, like, I'll tell you a couple teams that crossed my mind. Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Kind of crossed my mind. Indiana a little bit.
Sleepers, right?
Yeah, they're sleepers. Like, teams that are dangerous, but you kind of overlook. And I don't think Indiana's going to be like that in, like, a year or two. But right now, they're still a sleeper team.
I didn't even know this. Guess where Philly is?
Oh, jeez. Are they like the 8th seed right now?
Yes, dude. They're 8. They're 8. That's bad. You're supposed to have the MVP caliber player in Joel Embiid, your 8th seed?
I'm telling you, he should have never won the MVP.
Did he win it twice, back to back? No. He won it once.
Didn't he just win it last year?
I think so. Yeah.
Because they didn't want to give it to Jokic again?
Yeah, he won it last year.
I told you they never should have gave it to him. He's not an MVP player. And you said he was, and we had the whole discussion. It was on one of the past episodes. Dude,
He did play. Okay, he played really good last year.
But look at Jokic and look at Embiid. Consistency.
Yeah. No, Jokic he's so fucking consistent. He's the best. He's the best big in the league. We'll give Wemby 2 years.
Yeah, Wemby's coming for him.
Dude, he's about to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Dude, Wemby is crazy.
He's about to win Defensive Player of the Year as a rookie.
He's so good, dude. I love watching him. And guess what? I was also right about fuck Chet Holmgren. Wemby's the GOAT.
All right. Wemby's playing really good, but Chet's team is playing outstanding.
Well, yeah, but still, fuck Chet Holmgren. We like Wemby here. But speaking of MVP, I've been seeing a lot of discourse on the social media. Mm-hmm. Do you think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an MVP candidate?
And Tatum's 5.
All right, we just had a bit of a technical difficulty here, but we are back now, and we're going to jump right back into where we left off. So, do you think that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is an MVP candidate?
Yeah.
Or MVP caliber player, I guess.
Yes, he's an MVP caliber player. He's the best player on one of the best teams in the West. Is fighting for the best team for the West. Do I think he's going to win MVP this year? Probably not. We talked about the stretch earlier, though. If the OKC Thunder have a good stretch, and he has a really good stretch too, and I believe that he can actually pull it off. But if Jokic just keeps on playing how he's playing and doesn't really drop off, Jokic is winning MVP again this year. And we talked about it while you were fixing technical difficulties. The top 5. It goes Jokic, Shai, then tie for 3rd is Giannis, Luka, and 5th is Tatum.
I mean, I think Tatum should probably get a little bit more love.
I feel like
the thing is with his team, it's like,
yeah,
you know, how much can you give him?
Yeah, and that's why I was like if he's playing really good, which he is, I say give him the tie with, if they're gonna give Giannis the tie with Luka, why not give him the tie with them too? Or hell, I believe Luka's playing better than Giannis, so give Luka the third, which he might have fell off in the recent stretch because he was third previous. Give Giannis and Tatum the tie for the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that. But I don't know. I think MVP is probably going to be... It's actually kind of tough because I'm leaning more towards it's going to be Jokic. But then I'm also like, I've seen so many people talking about Shea. I almost think that it's going to end up being him somehow. It just all depends on this last, few games here.
It really does.
And, how well everyone performs. I mean, even Luka could jump back up and win it, to be honest with you.
I mean, everyone that top 5 has a chance, not like a good chance, but they have a chance. Obviously the top 2, the main talked about right now. But anything can happen in these last 11 games, 10, 11 games in the season. I
don't think Tatum's going to win it. Just because, like I said, his team's stacked.
Unless he drops like a fucking 60 burger.
Yeah, unless he actually does go insane these last 10 or so games.
Averages like 40, 50 points.
Yeah. I don't think Giannis is going to win it. I just don't think he's had that kind of season this year.
No. I mean, having Dame doesn't really... Because, Dame's a really good point guard, don't get me wrong, but he needs his shots, too.
Mm.
And so does Middleton, So it's like... He had to give up shots this year, but he still played dominant.
Yeah, he still played really well. I just don't think he's had that type of year this year over the other 3. I think it really does come down to those 3. Personally, if we're talking about most valuable player, it has to be Jokic or Luka, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Shea deserves to be in the conversation. But... without Jokic on the Nuggets, they're not the same team.
No, they're not.
Without Luka on the Mavericks, they're bottom of the West. That's just how it is. We've seen that every time Luka doesn't perform to what Luka does, they're trash.
I disagree with that one. Because I've seen, when Luka wasn't there, Kyrie dropping 40, 50 points.
Yeah, but I'm talking about consistent. If Luka is hurt, I think it was last year or something, he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They did not do well without him.
Yeah, they didn't.
So, they can have one game where Kyrie goes off, but Kyrie can't carry a team anymore.
He actually has been playing really good this season.
Yeah, as the number 2 option.
Yeah, as a number 2 option, but even when he's a number 1 option,
he can't carry a team anymore.
I feel like he can carry a good team.
Well, if he's on a good team, he's not the number 1 option. That's the thing. He can't be that number 1 guy anymore. That's just he's a really high end number 2 option, maybe the best number 2 option in the league.
Yeah,
but he's not a number 1.
I feel like with some players he can be number 1, and they can have success.
I don't think so. But anyway, with Shea, if you take him away from the Thunder, they wouldn't be as good, but I still think they'd be a playoff team. I don't know if that's kind of a hot take, but I don't think he would be as big of a loss for the team.
A play-in team, maybe.
Yeah, they'd be in the play-in or maybe low playoffs. They'd still be in there. But with the Nuggets losing Jokic or the Mavericks losing Luka, I think it's more drastic. That's literal term, who's the most valuable player is one of those two. NBA term, Shea, if they go on a really good stretch and become the 1 seed, Shea's probably going to win it.
That OKC team is not the same if you take Shea off of it.
I said it's not exactly the same, but they're still a good team.
All right, they would have Chet, Lut Dort, and Lut Dort is not a playmaker. He's a 3-and-D in the system. Who the Williams, J Dub, J Will.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. They would not. I feel like if you take him off that team, I feel like it's the same conversation with Luka and Jokic.
I disagree.
Their roster is not that spectacular, but with him, it makes the team so much better. Because he's top 5 in assists.
He does make him a lot better. But I think without him, there's someone on that team would step up and fill that role to some extent. I don't think he's that valuable to the team as much as the other two are. He's still very valuable to the team, but just not as much as the other two. That was just like my literal, who is the most valuable player for their team. But in like the MVP award isn't that. So it's just gonna be.
I mean, like, I feel like that's a hot take too, because like, I mean, like, hell, with like Tyrese Halliburton, and Indiana would not have the success if they took him off that roster.
No, they wouldn't. But I think I'm about to have another hot take.
Oh shit!
Tyrese Halliburton is more important to the Pacers than Shea is to the Thunder. He's more important to the way the Pacers team works, and he's more important to that team's success.
I feel like they're about the same. I feel like they're about the same.
I don't think so, because there's no one else on the Pacers roster that could, even kind of fill what Tyrese does. But I feel like there's a bunch of different people on the Thunder roster who could kind of fill what Shea does. Not to the same extent. I'm not saying they would become as good as Shea is, but they would fill that role a little bit. But there's nobody on the Pacers roster who could fill the Tyrese Halliburton role.
Well, who will fill the role for the Thunder?
It would be like a group of guys. I think they all would have a little bit more input into the offense and into the whole, team structure.
A lot of those guys are just like, they're not playmakers. I think Shea's damn near the only playmaker on that team. They obviously, I can't say they don't play make at all. Like they can't like fucking pass. Like obviously they can pass and play make a little bit and facilitate and stuff. But Shea is just so freaking remarkable, and so is Tyrese, and that's why I say they're about the same. Because they're both like extremely valuable to their teams. The Thunder would not like I said earlier, they would be a play-in team at most if they took Shea off that team. I mean, with the Nuggets, if they took Jokic off that team, I feel like they'll still be like kind of a play-in team because they have Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray, and the pieces around Jamal Murray and because like Jamal Murray and Jokic, I feel like they're the best dynamic duo in the league. Jamal Murray is underrated. I feel like never been an All-Star. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Never been an All-Star. And he won a championship last year. Yeah, I feel like he's about to win a championship again this year. I mean, it's. I say this right now. The finals. If Nuggets and Celtics go in the finals, that's going to be very interesting.
The Celtics are going to win.
It's going to be a tie-up. It's going to be a 6-game series.
Yeah, 6-game series. Celtics win.
I don't know. I mean, like, do you know, like, what?
Listen, if the Celtics lose this year, it will be. I mean, Tatum's whole reputation, his whole he's the next potential GOAT or whatever that people keep talking about. Mm-hmm. It's cooked if he loses this year,
especially with this team.
If he loses with this team, it is cooked.
But it's so many stories. If Tatum loses, his legacy is kind of blemished. It's like fuck. Like he can't even win a championship with that freaking roster. And on the other hand, like with the Western teams, we have the Nuggets two-peating. Jokic is like the best player in the world, possibly the best big of all time.
Could be.
Then we have the Thunder, Shea. He's like, holy shit, this he did it with this roster, this young group. I mean, I saw something. It was like Duke's roster is like 0.1 or 0.2 older than the Thunder roster. Mm-hmm. And like he's like the youngest team just fucking pulled it off. Like back in 2012, you know, whenever OKC went to the finals the first time, or 2013, it's like damn, they finally did it, like with a young roster. It's like they didn't do it before, but they did it now. The Minnesota, the dark horse. That's why I will call them the dark horse of the West in the winning the championship.
They are the dark horse.
And if the dark horse does it, it's like fuck, because people already like compare Ant to like Michael with like his playing style, not like his points and stuff like that, but his playing style is so compared to Michael Jordan. His physicality and stuff, his defense, how he attacks, how he moves. And so, honestly, those four teams obviously are our four top runners, favorites for the NBA. Mm. And I feel like those four are the best storylines. I mean, you have other storylines with Bron. It's like hell yeah, Bron won a championship in his last leg. Like what the hell? But our favorites that are playing hot right now, those four. How we go from MVP talk to this?
Well, because we're talking about
Tatum. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the Jokic and Shea.
Yeah.
Then you asked about we started talking about the importance of Shea to the Thunder, and then you said he's like Tyrese Halliburton, which I disagree with. I don't know what it is about when I watch Shea. He doesn't feel as important as the other people. I don't know why. It's just something. He just doesn't feel as important. He's still really good. He just something about it just doesn't feel as important as like Tyrese or Jokic to the Nuggets.
Well, Tyrese, he like on that roster, and I do agree a little bit now seeing it, but in that roster in Indiana, he has to be 100% all the time. Like he has to be like, you know,
well, because he's been having a bad stretch of games about a week ago or so, mm-hmm. And the Pacers have not been good. Just because he hasn't been up to what he's been doing all year.
Because everything runs through him, and everything can run through Shea,
but it doesn't always have to.
But it doesn't have to because the system and how, you know, how things work. Because like, you know, they have Shet. Indiana has Miles. What's his last name?
Miles Turner.
Yeah, Miles Turner. It has Miles Turner. He's almost 30. Mm-hmm. So it's like. And Shet's is like he's 20.
They have,
if that.
Like, here's the thing. With Tyrese, he's not only the number one facilitator on the team for Indiana.
Playmaker. Because facilitator is like be like Joe Harris or no.
No, because he's the facilitator.
Jaylen Brown.
Because he's the one who gets all the he's the one who makes all the decisions on where to go with the ball. He's a playmaker and he's the facilitator. But he also is so important in scoring. Because if you look at Benedict Mathurin don't pass the ball. If he gets the ball, he's shooting it. Miles Turner, he's actually a pretty decent passer for, you know, a big man. He's not Jokic levels, but he's pretty decent. Mm-hmm. But on that team, who else is there that really is passing the ball around and getting guys open and, you know, extending?
TJ McCollum, or however you say his last name.
McConnell?
McConnell.
Is he even there anymore, dude?
I think so.
Like they got Andrew Nemhard off the bench.
They actually have Neesmith.
He's there.
He's a big, isn't he?
Yeah. Like they don't have a lot of people.
Dude from New York, Obi.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's overhyped.
Well, he's a fine player, but he's not a guy that can facilitate or playmaker or anything like that. At least not to a high level and consistently.
He's like a Blake Griffin, dude.
Honestly, yeah, kind of. So, like, that's, like, the thing. Like, when Tyrese isn't doing what he's doing, Pacers are kind of lost. I don't feel the same with Shea in OKC because I feel like not only can they run through someone else for the game, but they also have more people who pass the ball around and they facilitate for each other. It's not just so like only Shea, even though it's a lot of Shea. He does a lot of playmaking and facilitating and everything, but it's not only him.
Yeah.
So that's why I say he's not the most valuable to his team.
I still disagree though. We're gonna have our own points though, so
yeah, we can just move past it. But we both have our opinions. I've said why I said what I said. I'm standing on it now. But I guess with that,
it's just last thing. It's like Shea hasn't really had a best rush yet of games, so it's like it's kind of hard to tell. And even if like say if he had you can't even say a bad game because if like he would still be passing the ball and getting assists and stuff like that. Because and then like that's why I say like players from OKC. There's some nights you see like they'll fucking like they'll interview like some like this guy's name's Isaiah Joe or whatever like who have like a 30.9 or whoever have 30.9. They were interviewing him and shit like they'll interview him like them and shit like that because like they fucking went off compared to like you said earlier. I do agree to a point, but I disagree with the Shea. Well, that's all I gotta say.
I think it's best that we move on past this topic because we can talk about this for a while. I think. Yeah.
That's all I have for NBA talk. And
yeah, I think it's time to move in. We're just gonna. So I've got a lot of stuff here that I'm just gonna
vitamin water.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like kind of rapid fire through it. Where I'm just gonna say something. We'll talk about it for a second. Move on to the next thing, and. This is all the moves in the NFL from last we spoke. So the first thing I have here is all the way back from March 7th. It's March 27th. So we got 20 days of NFL news to catch up on. So I'm just going to start here. The first thing I have, former Falcons tight end Jonnu Smith has signed with Miami Dolphins for a 2-year deal worth up to $10 million. Jonnu Smith, obviously... a bit older now. Did all right in Atlanta. What are your thoughts on him going to Miami?
They need a tight end, and he hasn't been like the success that people would thought in the NFL. But Miami needs a tight end. You never know. With him and Tua, might be a little connection.
Maybe. The good thing with Miami though is they have wide receivers who are very, very good. So, all I need him to do is be a serviceable tight end. Up next, the next thing I have here is the Saints and safety Tyrann Mathieu agreed to a 2-year deal worth up to $13 million.
Good for the Saints. I mean, Tyrann loves Louisiana. He came from LSU.
And he's still, even though he's getting older, he's still very impactful on the defense.
Oh, he is. He very well is.
Up next here, another safety in the news. The Broncos released 4-time All-Pro safety Justin Simmons after 8 years in Denver. So, joining the free agents safety group, which is very deep and still a lot of safeties out there.
Denver is unloading, so...
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
But they're unloading. They're getting rid of some older pieces, and looks like they're going into the new Sean Payton era. Up next here, we're staying with the defensive backs here, Bears and corner Jalen Johnson had a 4-year, $76 million contract extension. So Jalen Johnson and the Bears there extending. Obviously, big piece for the defense.
Oh, yeah.
We have a trade. We have the first trade. The Broncos trade wide receiver Jerry Jeudy to the Browns for a 2024 5th and 6th round picks. So this one we need to talk about a little bit.
Wait. It happened just now?
No, this is from March 9th.
Oh, okay. Oh, we didn't talk about that one.
So Jerry Jeudy is now on the Browns for a 5th and 6th round pick. Broncos trade away a promising young receiver who hadn't really had a
take off yet.
Yeah, he hasn't really gotten to where everyone thought he could be. But going to the Browns, I mean, he could do it now. We all know how I feel about the Browns. Their quarterback is something.
Jameis?
Not Jameis. I wish that he could be a starter. But unfortunately he's not. But that's a good piece for wide receiver. And they also, let's not forget, last offseason, or was it the trade deadline? Sometime recently they got Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick. So they've been getting some pretty high end wide receivers for late round picks, which is pretty impressive. What are your thoughts on the Jerry Jeudy situation coming to an end in Denver, and now he's in Cleveland?
I mean, honestly, Cleveland got two really good wide receivers, Mari and Jerry. So I believe, I know you hate Deshaun Watson, and I don't care, but I'm not I obviously I mess around whenever I'm like Deshaun Watson or whatever, but I'm not I'm not gonna put on his jersey. I'm not gonna do that. But freaking for Cleveland, it's a good situation. They're obviously don't really care about anyone's actions or anything like that, so it's just they're there to play ball.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own way of doing it. Each organization is different. Some care a lot about off-the-field stuff. Some don't care at all.
Yeah.
Our next news story here. Pro Bowl defensive tackle Justin Madubuike. He had a 13-sack season last year, and he gets rewarded with a 4-year, $98 million extension by the Ravens. So keeping one of their core pieces on that defensive line, keeping him there.
Isn't he 6'7"?
He's a monster, and he just had it last season at deep tackle, 13 sacks, dude. So pretty impressive. Next trade we have here, the Patriots trade quarterback Mac Jones to the Jaguars for a late round pick.
So, did you actually believe Mac Jones was going to be a good quarterback in the league?
No, I thought he could be fine.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was going to be a great quarterback or anything like that.
Okay.
No.
I was like, I don't think he's going to be anything that special.
Let me say this, because, when coming out of college, he was one of those guys that he had all the weapons in the world at Alabama. He didn't have the greatest arm strength, but he had decent enough arm strength.
Mm-hmm.
In the right system, he could have been a starter for a while. But the Patriots was not the right system. They had no weapons. Bill Belichick, as a coach, is set in his ways. Obviously not there anymore. That's old news, though.
Mm-hmm.
In the right system, he could have been something, but he wasn't never going to be top 10 quarterback or anything like that.
Yeah.
But now he's on the Jaguars as the backup to Trevor Lawrence, you would assume. Even though Trevor Lawrence, that could be a whole nother situation, whole nother conversation where, we talk about how he's performed in the NFL, because it's not quite what everyone was expecting.
Nope. I mean, because like what he had Calvin Ridley last season, and
Doesn't have Calvin Ridley anymore.
nope, he has no pieces again.
He has Christian Kirk. He has Travis Etienne.
And he hasn't really been anything special coming out of college either.
Not really. I mean, the Jaguars, I was really impressed with them last year.
Yeah.
This year was like a completely different team.
Yeah, because last year they made the playoffs.
Or, I guess 2 years ago now.
Yeah, because they went to the playoffs. And then
they had that big comeback against the Chargers.
Yeah.
And then this past season was just like, what the fuck?
Wasn't Trevor Lawrence hurt, though?
He was banged up a little bit, I think. But he wasn't, like, hurt. He was just banged up for a few games. I don't think he missed a game.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I guess we'll see. All I'm saying is the Jaguars in the AFC South for a while have been kind of the only team, because the Colts have been going through their quarterback struggles. The Texans have been the Texans, and the Titans got old. So they were like the clear-cut favorite to win that division this year. And then they weren't even involved in the who won at the end of the... Because Week 18, Colts, Texans...
Yeah, it was Texans. It was
winner take all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we'll see how they bounce back next year, but... Yikes. Not a great year for them.
I like how that all set up, too. Like, last game of the season.
Yeah, like winner gets the division.
Yeah.
And if we would have had our starter... You never want to know what could happen, but...
Wasn't there a chance for the Jacksonville to get in, though? Like, if a certain team... Like, it was like if a team wins...
No, because not in Week 18. Like, I think, like, Week 17, maybe they had one.
Mm-hmm.
But Week 18, no. Because if it was Colts and Texans, the winner is in the playoffs, the loser's out of the playoffs.
Okay. I know... Oh, it might have been, like, a different team then...
Yeah, I think there was like the Buffalo Bills and the Dolphins and someone else who like they either could have been the number 2 seed or the number 7 seed. Next news story is a retirement. Fletcher Cox announced his retirement from the NFL after 12 seasons. And obviously with Jason Kelce retiring from the Eagles as well. 2 massive pieces from the Eagles that have retired this year.
Fletcher and Kelce, right? You said?
Yep.
Important pieces. They're very important pieces.
Yeah.
Like one of the best best center in the league, and has been one of the best defensive tackles in the league not one of the best, but like top 5 consistent defensive tackle in the league.
He's been one of the best, except for the past couple of years. He's kind of taken a step back. But for a decade, he was one of the best.
It's just so fucking tough because you had Aaron Donald in there too.
Yeah, and we can talk about Aaron Donald here in just a second. I know he's in there somewhere.
Yeah, no, he is.
But yeah, I mean, he was one of the best defensive tackles. And obviously a big locker room guy for the Eagles, the leader, along with Jason Kelce. And we're kind of starting to see the old guard of the Eagles is completely gone now.
2010, the Eagles are going down.
Yeah, like they
still got Brandon Graham, right?
Brandon Graham's, he's still around, I believe. He should still be on their roster.
I think he is.
And they got Lane Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think those are like the 2 pieces from them there.
Yeah.
Everyone else is a new piece.
Yeah, because I just remember Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Kelce, Johnson. Because I'm trying to think who was on that Eagles roster.
They had Jason Peters.
Oh,
but he's gone.
Yeah,
he's
been retired. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the old Eagles are gone.
The last one's Lane Johnson and Brandon Graham.
Yeah, and they also lost their safety, Kevin Byard, who signed with the Bears for a 2-year deal worth up to $15 million. So, losing another pretty key piece there on the defense.
And Bears got it kept and got another piece for their defense.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears are setting it up for They're setting up for a season next year where it's really going to see what it's like, especially for the coaching staff. They're setting it up where it's like you're either going to perform or you're not going to perform. Because I'm surprised they kept the coaches for this year coming up, but they did. Then our next story is one that's near and dear to my heart. The Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield have agreed on a 3-year deal worth $100 million with $50 million guaranteed. Baker Mayfield is the Buccaneers starting quarterback.
Good for him. I'm kind of glad he found a system and a team that appreciates him and he actually play and perform.
Yeah, and he worked his ass off last year to not only win the starting job but keep it and make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets rewarded for it. And Baker Mayfield is a great story. And every time you if you listen to like an interview or something with him, post game press conference or something, it always brings like a positive energy. You just can't help but root for the guy. Kendrick Bourne re-signed 3-year deal worth up to $33 million with the New England Patriots. He's coming off a torn ACL last season. Thoughts on Kendrick Bourne staying with the Patriots?
I have no thoughts. I mean, I know who he is, obviously, but he hasn't really done much.
No thoughts?
No thoughts.
You solid piece. Up next, you're going to have some thoughts on this one. Chiefs and 5-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Chris Jones reached an agreement on a record 5-year deal that includes $95 million guaranteed.
I don't know how they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. They are playing with the salary cap, making sure everyone fits. I'm sure they did some restructuring on some other guys. But record-breaking deal for Chris Jones, who best defensive tackle in the league?
Yeah.
He's up there at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who stood up this year for interior linemen. I mean, it was Chris Jones. The Ravens.
Justin Madubuike.
Yeah.
I think DeForest Buckner's up there.
Yeah.
He's underrated. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Not really a lot of star interior defensive linemen.
No, compared to back in the day, you had freaking Fletcher Cox, Geno Atkins, Aaron Donald, Vince Wilfork.
Dude, Vince Wilfork, dude. I forgot about him.
Oh, how can you forget about the big man from Houston and the Patriots now? Dude, whenever he came to Houston with his overalls and the cowboy hat.
Yeah, I remember that one. The 49ers, your squad, they released defensive lineman Eric Armstead.
Had to go. It's sad, but he's going to have a good career in Miami.
Is that where he ended up signing?
Yep.
That must be later on in in my notes here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're still only on March 11th. We got quite a few more days to go. Russell Wilson signs with the Steelers.
You might as well talk about the next one then.
Well, I'm going in order here,
I guess, yeah.
We can combine them. All right. Let me find it. Speak on Russell Wilson for a second.
I mean, we already talked about it.
Not on here, we haven't.
Yeah, we have. We said you mentioned the Bears getting rid of whoever or him for a bag of chips.
Russell Wilson. Speak on Russell Wilson.
This one's. We already talked. Okay.
You're thinking of Justin Fields.
Yes, I know I'm thinking of Justin Fields because we already mentioned it earlier.
We didn't talk about Russell Wilson.
Then that's why I said we might as well talk about the next one.
And I'm looking for it.
It was the second and fourth.
Oh my god! It wasn't.
What was it then?
You just ruined this. I want you to know that.
Thank you.
Can you please talk about your thoughts on Russell Wilson going to the Steelers?
It is good for Steel City.
Oh my god. I didn't know I was going to have this much trouble getting thoughts out of you today.
I'm a difficult person.
Do you just have no thoughts at all? Want me to rapid fire through these?
I mean, okay, because we already know what happened, so it's like, Russell Wilson will be good first year in the as a Steeler.
Yeah, it's just a 1-year deal, I believe.
Yes, I feel like he'll be a good piece.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read things off. If you want to talk about it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down.
Okay.
All right, we're just gonna rapid fire through these because you're being difficult. Bears and running back DeAndre Swift agree on a 3-year deal worth $24 million. Go ahead.
I feel like that was great because we talked about it earlier with the Bears. They're getting a lot of pieces. DeAndre Swift, they're upgrading their defenses and stuff. Their defensive back kept Jalen Johnson, and then you said Justin Simmons, or no, wait, no. Justin Simmons got released. Kevin Byard. Veteran, but I'm sure will fit in well with the Bears system, and then also with the running back crew already as is him, Khalil Herbert, DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert. I feel like are going to be the 1-2 punches in the backfield. And especially because we already know who the Bears are going to get number 1.
We believe we know.
Yeah.
I'd say it's like a 99.9% chance.
The baddest quarterback in the league.
Next, Bengals franchise wide receiver T. Higgins has requested a trade. All right, moving on to the next one. Bills 3-time Pro Bowl left tackle Deion Dawkins is signing a 3-year deal, $60.5 million extension with the Bills.
It's good for them because they keep a solid tackle because he's been solid tackle for a couple years now, and he's made a name. If people know you and you're a lineman, that actually means you're good and you're doing your job. Mm. And I've heard of him and Deion Dawkins, and I feel like that's deserving.
3-time Pro Bowler. We're going to be moving on to the next one. We got a defensive tackle, Christian Wilkins, is signing a 4-year deal with $110 million. That includes $84.75 million guaranteed with the Raiders. So,
the only thing I say is he got paid, and he's a trash talking defensive line physical, and a little bit too much maybe, but he's good.
He's good. We didn't mention him when we were talking about interior defensive tackles, but there you go. David Bakhtiari was released by the Green Bay Packers. He's still a free agent.
Getting rid of old pieces now. Trying to get in the young era with Jordan Love. Maybe get like a tackle, Joe Alt.
Mm-hmm. Could be. David Bakhtiari going to the Jets, you think?
Yeah.
I hope so. Titans are giving former Cowboys running back 3-year, $24 million deal. Tony Pollard going to the Titans. Moving on then. Newest Jaguar wide receiver, Gabe Davis. We forgot about him when we were talking about the Jaguars. 3-year deal worth $39 million with a chance to get to $50 million.
I love Gabe Davis. I like his ceilings. Like okay, first, where do you think his ceiling is as an NFL player?
Gabe Davis?
Yes.
I think he could be a number 1 option. I think he could be.
I think he proved it in the playoffs when he had the 3 touchdown games.
Yeah, he's really good.
And then he had a solid season to follow up the next season, last year. Mm-hmm. And I was like, honestly, he could. I feel like he could. He can be a number 1. He literally looked like the best number 2.
Yeah, he definitely could be a number 1. It just all depends on Trevor Lawrence. Depends on the rest of the Jaguars team and how they do. But I think he has pretty good potential. Mm-hmm. Up next, it's a 4-year deal worth $76 million for the new Vikings pass rusher, Jonathan Grenard. The Colts and Michael Pittman agreed to a 3-year, $70 million extension that can reach up to $71.5 million with $46 million guaranteed. Now I'm going to talk about this one. Colts are my team. And the only thing, we talked about it off air, probably even on air, I don't remember exactly what we said last episode, but I said we need to get Michael Pittman back. First of all, not a bad contract. He gets paid, but it's not breaking the bank for us.
Mm-hmm.
We get to keep our number one guy, who is a true number one wide receiver. People they don't know how good this guy is.
Mm-hmm.
He's very underrated. I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the league, but he's just very quiet about it. He's gone through all these different quarterbacks and has always been...
I thought it's a plus-yard receiver.
He's been so good. And now he's got Anthony Richardson. Next year is looking... I've said this to you off podcast. As a Colts fan, this is the first time where I've been, excited about the upcoming season in a long time. I was excited last year after the draft. But this is before the draft, and I'm excited for next year. Mm-hmm. It's been a while.
It just sucks because Richardson got hurt.
Yeah, Richardson got hurt, which obviously I lost a little bit of my excitement when he got hurt. But man, next year, I'm happy because now this year, I forgot about this. Beginning of the year was Jonathan Taylor's he's sitting out. What's going to happen with him? Are we going to trade him? Are we going to keep him? We got that taken care of. We got this taken care of. Michael Pittman's staying. Anthony Richardson's going to be healthy next year. Oh, my God, dude. I'm so excited. Do you have anything you would like to add?
Good for you guys. Finally got a quarterback. Finally getting some contracts around or, getting contracts settled and stuff like that. And getting that shit nipped in the butt now. And when it comes season time, play ball.
Yeah. Next, Saquon Barkley goes to the Eagles for a 3-year, $37.75 million deal.
They lost Swift and get a guy who loves being in Pitt. Or, not Pitt.
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. But still, came from Penn State.
Yep.
So, hometown boy. He's already loved. Everyone's already forgot about DeAndre Swift.
Look, and the thing is, he went to Penn State. Obviously, going to Philly now. He was a New York Giant. Mm-hmm. So, he was with their biggest rival.
Yep.
One of their biggest rivals. You could argue the Cowboys are their biggest rival. But now, he's with the Eagles. So now he gets to play his old team twice a year. But also, the Eagles... They've been an interesting team because they've been kind of bouncing along with different running backs for the past few years. DeAndre Swift did pretty good last year. But I think with Saquon Barkley, it's going to be like a whole new offense almost. Because he can... DeAndre Swift's good. He can catch out of the backfield a little bit. He can run a little bit. Saquon can do both things better.
Oh, yeah.
He's a strong, powerful runner. You can run it up the middle with him. He can catch out of the backfield, and he's not going to go down with first contact. He can stiff arm.
He's fighting through contact.
He's a little bit older now. 3 years, maybe a bit much. But they also don't have to rely just solely on him like the Giants did.
Yeah.
Because they got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got Jalen Hurts who can make stuff happen with his legs. Mm-hmm. Dallas Goedert at tight end.
I was going to say Dallas Goedert.
So, a really good pickup from them. And then, I know you're going to talk about this one. I'm going to let you do all the talking about this because this is your guy.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins. He signed a 4-year, $180 million contract with the Falcons. Now I'm turning it over to you.
So the Falcons need a quarterback. And I thought this was so funny because you get a guy from Minnesota, came from Minnesota, which is probably the whitest city. I'm not saying the whitest, but it's up there, city in pro football. To Atlanta, the Dirty Birds, this Dirty South, the ATL, and I think it's a funny story to think about. But Kirk Cousins, I love Kirk Cousins. I think he's gonna love it down in Atlanta, especially with a young running back, Bijan Robinson, young wide receiver group, and Drake London. Who else is a wide receiver there? I think they have one more piece.
Well, you're forgetting about their tight end.
Tight end Kyle Pitts.
And it was a funny from his press conference. I don't know if you saw this, but because Kyle Pitts wears number 8.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins wears number 8. Kirk Cousins was talking about it. He was like, yeah, Kyle Pitts said, "Oh, I'll give you number 8 as long as you give me targets every game." And Kirk Cousins was like, "Yeah, that was a funny joke." But I think Kyle Pitts was being for real because last year he didn't get no targets.
Yeah.
And the year before he didn't get no targets. He's ready to feast. I think this is going to be a breakout year for him this year.
I freaking hope so, dude. He needs it.
Because, I've been quoted as not being the biggest Kirk Cousins guy.
Yeah.
However, this is a massive upgrade at quarterback for the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Massive upgrade. Kirk Cousins, at the very least... He's a passer.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about playoffs and everything and prime time and everything some other time. We'll keep it positive. He's a passer. He can sling the thing around. He can get guys open. He can give you targets, and you could do a lot with that offense. Now, if the Falcons can capitalize on that and put Bijan Robinson in some good spots and have their defense perform well, the Falcons could win their division. It's a very winnable division down there in the NFC South. The only real team, if I'm being honest, is the Buccaneers, who won this past year. Mm-hmm. It's between those two now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because Panthers...
Unproven.
Panthers are unproven. Saints have Derek Carr as their quarterback, who... I didn't think it would be this bad that he is, but he's gotten not great this past year.
He wasn't great at all.
And they also got rid of Jameis Winston, which... Big mistake there. But so yeah, winnable division. Major upgrade for Atlanta.
And also the Saints haven't really done much besides sign Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, because the Saints are in a terrible cap space position right now. They have zero money.
Yeah.
They're so bad. The next story we have though is a story of 2 running backs in Green Bay, Wisconsin. They reached a deal with former Raiders running back Josh Jacobs to come in, and they informed Aaron Jones that he was being released.
That's a tough take because they're both really good running backs. I like Aaron Jones a little bit more, but because I feel like he's well rounded. But I like Josh Jacobs as a runner. Now, Josh Jacobs is coming off an off season, but who's older between Josh and Aaron?
I think they're about the same age. They're about probably within a year or two. Maybe Aaron Jones is slightly older.
It's going to be interesting because with AJ Dillon and then Josh Jacobs, both dominant runners, are they going to look for some pass attempts? Hopefully Josh Jacobs steps up and becomes more of a pass catcher.
Well, Josh Jacobs can catch passes.
Well, yeah, but not how Aaron Jones.
He's not Aaron Jones pass catcher, but he can catch passes. What I think, and obviously this hasn't happened yet, but I think AJ Dillon's probably going to be gone at some point, or he'll just be a backup. I think they're looking for, because I love Aaron Jones. He was on my fantasy team last year. He was banged up the whole season. Didn't quite perform how he has, but when he played, he had really good performances. I think they're looking for that one running back who's going to be the bell cow running back, who they're going to just have him out there every down, and that's going to be Josh Jacobs.
And throw in there too, because I had Josh Jacobs on my fantasy team. I feel like he didn't get a lot of carries for the Las Vegas or a lot of opportunities because they were looking elsewhere, or not getting them in the game plan, which they should have been.
Well, listen, the Raiders coach is trash.
Yes.
They had Jimmy Garoppolo last year, which is trash.
Yes.
He's out of there now. He's on the Packers, who have a really good coach. Michael Ford is really good.
They're on the rise.
They got Jordan Love, who did pretty well last year for his first season. So I think this is a better position for him. The only thing that's different over there is it's going to be a little colder. But, It is what it is.
Fan bases.
Yeah, and the fan base, very loyal fan base up there.
Yeah.
Green Bay. So our next one is another Colts re-signing. The heart and soul of the defense, Zaire Franklin. He got a 3-year, $31.26 million contract extension. And another huge re-signing for us. He, like I said, heart and soul of our defense.
Led the league in tackles, you said, right?
He led the league in tackles 2 seasons ago. Last year, he either led or was second. I lost track of it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he's a tackle machine. He is a locker room guy. When Shaq Leonard got injured and we transitioned into the Shane Steichen era, Zaire Franklin became our leader on defense.
Yeah.
So it's really, really big to get him re-signed for 3 years as well. Like, we didn't really do too much else, but we kept our guys, and we're just building on what we have, and the culture is growing and growing.
I totally forgot the Eagles signed Shaq Leonard.
Yeah, he's a free agent right now, and I've been seeing stuff that he may be coming back to the Colts. Like, they're talking to him, which I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah.
Bring him back. He's obviously a really good person for the community and everything. The only problem is it's Zaire Franklin's defense.
Yeah.
And, like, if he's going to have a problem with that, then, maybe he should just go to a different team.
Oh, yeah.
But if he's going to, just be like, yeah, I'm just here to help in whatever way I can, of course, bring him back in. Because I still think he could be effective in doses.
Mm-hmm.
Up next, back to the Packers. They signed safety Xavier McKinney for a 4-year deal worth up to $68 million. Vikings signed linebacker Blake Cashman to a 3-year deal worth up to $25.5 million. The 49ers signed defensive end Leonard Floyd to a 2-year, $20 million deal.
I like that one. I went 2 years ago. I went to a Bears game, and he broke the franchise record for sacks or that season or something like that.
Okay.
It was nice to see. Like, he's a beast.
Okay, well, good signing for the Niners because they got rid of Chase Young, right? They didn't re-sign him.
Yeah, I don't think we re-signed Chase Young. I'd rather have Leonard Floyd, right? You said Leonard Floyd?
Yep.
Yeah.
Chase Young's another guy who hasn't quite lived up to his potential, but good signing there for the Niners. The Browns re-signed linebacker Zadarius Smith to a 2-year, $23.5 million deal. Former Chargers running back Austin Eckler signs a 2-year deal with the Commanders.
The NFC East running back committee is getting tough, and I like that. I mean Saquon's has always been in there. Eagle or what? The Giants don't have anyone right now.
No, they don't have anyone like big name guys.
Oh, never mind. They only have 2 good running backs in that league division now.
Tony Pollard's gone.
Tennessee. Yep. Wow, but Eckler to Commanders. Sam Howell still with their quarterback, right?
No, they traded Sam Howell, which we'll get to, but they traded him to the Seahawks.
Okay.
Patriots and quarterback Jacoby Brissett agreed to a 1-year, $8 million deal. So Jacoby Brissett was on the Patriots, goes back.
Whenever he was on the Colts, did you like him?
Oh yeah, I love Jacoby Brissett. I'll be honest with you, because we had Jacoby Brissett right after Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Well, not right after, but like he was our guy the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I wanted to keep Jacoby Brissett before they started trading all these old guys in.
Phillip Rivers and Matt Ryan.
Phillip Rivers, and then they got Carson Wentz, and they got Matt Ryan.
I forgot about Carson.
Because I remember this one play in particular where someone was trying to, sack Jacoby Brissett, and he's like fought through contact and then like scrambled out of it and just like tossed the ball down the field. He looked like a franchise quarterback to me.
Mm-hmm.
If we would have kept him, I mean, obviously he didn't pan out anywhere else, but we would have at least had more stability than just going from different quarterback to different quarterback to different quarterback. Obviously worked out. We got Anthony Richardson now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I really wanted to keep Jacoby Brissett as our guy. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of his. Speaking of Colts, the former Colts running back Zach Moss signed a 2-year, $8 million deal with the Bengals, who are releasing Joe Mixon.
I can see that because Joe Mixon did not have that good of a season last year, and I feel like the Bengals, like right now with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, they're probably looking for different pieces around.
Yeah, and T. Higgins requested a trade.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean they got Zach Moss, who he did really really good in the absence of Jonathan Taylor last year.
He did solid, really solid.
Another former Colts quarterback Gardner Minshew has agreed to a 2-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders.
I think he's gonna be a starter.
Right now he is because they released Jimmy.
Oh.
Yeah, they released Jimmy Garoppolo.
Good for him because he was he went to the or he was all pro no, he wasn't all pro last year. He was
Pro Bowl.
Pro Bowl. Yep, he went to the Pro Bowl last year.
Another quarterback news: Vikings expected to sign quarterback Sam Darnold to a 1-year, $10 million deal.
He ain't Kirk. He ain't Kirk.
He's the cheap version of Kirk Cousins.
That's the great value, Kirk Cousins, right there.
Eagles to sign defensive end Bryce Huff to a 3-year, $51.1 million deal. And then, okay, I forgot about this. The Bengals were going to release Joe Mixon, but then they ended up trading him to the Texans the next day after they signed Zach Moss. Then this is where we get another big running back signing. 4-time Pro Bowl running back Derrick Henry is signing a 2-year deal worth $16 million with the Ravens.
That Madden team just run read option the whole entire time.
Yeah, you got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. You got Derrick Henry at running back.
Patrick Ricard, fullback.
Yeah. But you know who else you're not going to have on the Ravens? Patrick Queen, the linebacker. He signed with division rival Pittsburgh Steelers, 3 years, $41 million.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then we get Texans signing Daniil Hunter to a 2-year, $49 million contract. Dolphins signed safety Jordan Poyer to a 1-year deal. So he goes to a division rival. From the Bills to the Dolphins.
Poor guy.
Hey, at least he's not going to be playing in the snow all the time. Because he actually lived in Buffalo in, like, the big, like, blizzard or whatever. He was on the Pat McAfee show talking about it before. Like, how he was trapped in with all the snow and everything. Steelers trading wide receiver Deontay Johnson to the Panthers for corner Dante Jackson in a pick swap. So Steelers get Dante Jackson and Panthers get Deontay Johnson.
Yeah. How did he do last year, Deontay Jackson? Because I know the year prior he had a really good year with the Panthers.
Dante Jackson did all right. You know, he did pretty all right last year. I mean everyone on the Panthers on the Panthers had a down year, but it's a good pickup for the Steelers. They get trade away Deontay Johnson, who again did fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Dante Jackson probably a better piece than Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, wide receiver. Yeah,
he's wide receiver.
Yeah, one touchdown, I think. Right, he had.
I don't.
Or 0.
I have no idea how many touchdowns he had last year.
Oh, it was bad. I think he had one, and he was celebrating way too much because that was his first touchdown of the season, and it was late in the season.
Well, we're talking about the Eagles. They didn't re-sign Kevin Byard. Well, they signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson to a 3-year deal worth up to $33 million, going back to Philly after a year in Detroit.
He didn't like Detroit. Well, he was also talking shit, too.
Well, he talked shit about the Eagles.
He always talks shit.
He always talks shit. But now he's going back to the Eagles now. 3-year, long-term deal. Mm-hmm. Pretty good piece there for him.
Oh, yeah, and plus he already knows the system.
Yep. Here we are. Browns finalizing 1-year contract with Jameis Winston. He should be their starter, but he won't be because they're, fully guaranteed contract to the other guy. Panthers are sending franchise pass rusher Brian Burns to the New York Giants. Burns also gets a 5-year deal with $150 million max with $87.5 million guaranteed. And the Panthers get a 2nd and 5th round pick for him.
I'll hold up a sec. If the Giants get another piece on defense, they actually had some pretty good moves this offseason. Because Brian Burns, and you said it was safety you said they got from Yeah, from Buffalo.
No.
Jordan Poyer?
Jordan Poyer went to the Dolphins.
Oh. That's why I said poor guy, because I thought you said the Giants.
No, he went to the Dolphins, dude.
Okay, then never mind. I take that poor guy comment back.
Yeah, he's down there playing in Miami now.
All right, never mind. I'm going to cool off about the Giants now.
Chargers released wide receiver Mike Williams.
That was surprising.
Yeah, I mean, they had another surprising wide receiver move. I'm sure we're close to it.
They dropped Eckler and him.
Yeah, they got rid of Eckler. They got rid of Mike Williams. We'll get to it. They got rid of Keenan Allen.
Ooh, I was leaving that one for you.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. This is on March 13th was the day that the Raiders officially released Jimmy Garoppolo. Debo announced he's going back to his college number 1. Thoughts on that?
I love it. He was promoting on Instagram and shit like that. He was like put like NBA YoungBoy in the background. I was like, oh yeah.
This one person on the reply says 1 for the number of 1,000 yard seasons he's had.
All right, can we go to the next transition?
Titans agreed to terms with quarterback Mason Rudolph on a 1-year deal. Whatever. Got a few things here. Titans signing Calvin Ridley, 4-year deal worth $92 million. Remember just a couple years ago where they were afraid to give A.J. Brown that contract?
Yeah.
Then they give it to Calvin Ridley, who's 30 this year.
Mm-hmm. And then, oh my gosh, and they don't even have a quarterback.
Yeah, fuck the Titans, bro. I hate the Titans. Fuck them.
My dead homies.
Yeah, dude. I'll always hate the Titans forever and always, dude. It's on site with Titans every day. I fucking hate them. Anyway, the Commanders signing linebacker Bobby Wagner to a 1-year deal. The Colts signed quarterback Joe Flacco to a 1-year deal.
Hey-o.
Coming to be the backup to Anthony Richardson. And he actually said he's excited to be the backup for the first time in his career. Because remember in New York, he said, I'm fighting for the starting spot against Zach Wilson.
Yep.
And then last year he came in with the Browns and was a starter because Deshaun Watson got hurt or maybe suspended again. I'm not sure. Falcons trading Desmond Ridder to the Cardinals for Rondale Moore. So Rondale Moore to the Falcons. Ooh. Another weapon there I forgot about.
Good for Kirk.
Yeah, dude. They got Drake London, Rondale Moore,
Kyle Pitts,
Bijan Robinson. They got some weapons over there.
And Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Solid. He's a good RB2. He's a good RB2.
He's a good RB2. He's a fine piece. Commanders trade Sam Howell to the Seahawks for a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick. Wait, no. Hold on. I messed that up. The Seahawks get Sam Howell, a 4th and a 6th. The Commanders get a 3rd and a 5th. So the Commanders move up around each.
Yeah.
So I read that wrong. And then here we go. Chargers trading wide receiver Keenan Allen to the Bears for a 4th-round pick. 4th-round draft pick for Keenan Allen.
That's unheard of. But there's just, I don't know. There was a lot of they've been just throwing like these draft picks because obviously you don't want to get rid of the 1st or 2nd. But they're just throwing around like these draft picks and they're actually getting good players from these.
Yeah, and the Bears also have a lot of draft picks.
Yeah,
because they did stack up on them. Like they have the number 1 pick this year from the Panthers, and then they also have their pick, which is like number 10. So they have a lot of draft picks. Chiefs get some wide receiver help over there to help out with. Why am I blanking on his name right now, dude? I just had it in my mind.
Sidney Rice?
No,
or not Sidney Rice.
Rashee Rice. Sidney Rice was like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
To help Rashee Rice out with the wide receivers, they signed Marquise Brown to a 1-year deal. OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. is being released by the Ravens. It's going to be after June 1st, though, as he officially will be released because of some salary cap stuff. Aaron Donald announced he is retiring from the NFL. First ballot Hall of Famer?
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Greatest interior defensive lineman of all time?
Arguably.
I'd say so.
Maybe yes.
I'd say so. we could talk about Aaron Donald for a long time. And just how
legendary.
impactful he was to the game. And how he changed it for interior defensive linemen. Usually were seen as like run stoppers, like your Vince Wilfork types. Mm-hmm. But he went in there and he was like a great pass rusher.
He played interior. When
he could move
outside. He was mainly interior because he was strong as shit. But he could have done that shit outside too.
And also, here's the thing: he was getting double and triple teamed like every single play, and he was still just a monster. Like his impact was insane. The Rams obviously lose a legend, but I am personally happy to have seen Aaron Donald play because he was different. He was different.
He trains with fake knives.
So thank you, Aaron Donald, for all your years of playing, going out on top. Also with Jason Kelsey, I also saw that someone said, I like when players go out on top, like go out when they're still good, rather than kind of, fall off the last few years.
Team on their last leg.
Like, how with Adrian Peterson, like how he fell off a little bit, and you're like kind of sad for him.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that was Adrian Peterson. Not like Aaron Donald. He was still Aaron Donald all the way to the end.
Yes.
So.
And Kelsey was that way too.
Kelsey was Jason Kelsey all the way to the end. Fletcher Cox, he fell off slightly, but he was still impactful. So, I mean, it sucks because when players are still good and they leave, you're like, dang, you're still good.
Yeah.
But also it leaves that good memory of like they were good their whole career.
Yeah.
So we'll keep on rapid firing through all these. The Colts signed Raekwon Davis to help beef up their D-line. Steelers expected to trade quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Eagles. Giants tight end Darren Waller is retiring. So, shout out to Darren Waller.
He had a good career.
He had a pretty good career.
Sucks that he spent a good chunk of it at Las Vegas, but
yeah, well, he went through a lot in his career.
Him and Max Crosby.
Yeah, like he went through a lot. He had addiction struggles. He had injuries. So he overcame a lot and had a good career. So shout out to Darren Waller. The Cowboys are releasing wide receiver Michael Gallup and linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. And Leighton Vander Esch would actually go on to announce his retirement from the NFL.
Neck injuries and stuff, yep.
Because he was, what was the phrasing, like medically retired. Like he medically could not play football anymore.
Yeah.
So, he had a pretty good run. I don't think, Hall of Fame level.
No.
Because he just didn't have that much time. But there was a couple years ago where he was a pretty scary linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
So, shout out to Leighton Vander Esch, and, hope you're successful in your next endeavor. Jets expected to sign left tackle Tyron Smith. So, pretty big signing there for Tyron Smith. Now, imagine if they get David Bakhtiari.
Don't they have a good tackle already, though?
They do. But,
Beckham, what's his name?
Mekhi Becton, he has been injured a lot. He hasn't really proven himself. Okay. But, honestly, if you move him in to guard with Elijah Vera Tucker, it could be a scary offensive line. Then here we get the Steelers trading for quarterback Justin Fields. It was a 6th-round pick.
6th round.
And it's a conditional 6th-round pick, though. So, I don't know exactly what the conditions are. But if he plays a certain amount of snaps or something, then they get a 4th-round pick. So, it could be a 4th, but right now it's a 6th. I'll have NBA news mixed in here. I don't know if you saw this, but Derrick Rose announced his retirement after 15 seasons. Did you not see that?
I did not see that.
Yeah, Derrick Rose announced his retirement.
Wait, what date?
I think March 16th. Is that true? Or did I get baited?
Dude, how come I didn't see that? I mean, I did see some stuff about him. like on social media, but I didn't think that he retired.
Let's see here. I'm pretty sure I saw something that he announced his retirement. Let's see, Derrick Rose retirement.
His last game was February 28th.
Okay, no, I found some truth here.
He's gonna retire after this year.
So, the Bulls broadcast on NBC Sports Chicago fell for a fake Adrian Wojnarowski tweet that Derrick Rose had retired. While 35-year-old Rose is certainly closer to the end of his career than the beginning, there is no truth to him retiring from the NBA in the middle of the season. So the Bulls on NBC Sports fell for a fake tweet, and then but it's not true. He's out for the season injured, though. And he contemplated retiring last year.
So he might. Okay.
So he's close to retirement. Okay, because when you didn't hear it, I kind of got suspicious.
I was like, bro just dropped a bombshell on me. I thought I lived in a cave for a sec.
Dude, I got suspicious when you didn't know about it, so that's why I had to do my research on it.
I contemplated it if I lived in a cave. Like I was like, bro, how did I not see this? Because I would talk about it that day with you.
Yeah, we would have talked about it. I forgot about it. I just saw it in here. So it was fake, guys.
Fake news.
It was fake. The NBC Sports Chicago fell for a fake tweet, and they tricked me. Okay, moving on. We'll just get back to the NFL. I'm not going to report on NBA anymore. I don't want to be wrong anymore, okay?
That's how I feel about this NFL sometimes with me.
The 49ers will be forced to forfeit their 5th-round pick in the 2025 draft and will have their 2024 4th-round pick moved to the end of the 4th round, which they did that because there was some administrative payroll accounting errors. The Lions signed offensive lineman Kevin Zeitler. The 49ers signed quarterback Josh Dobbs to a 1-year deal. Any thoughts on Josh Dobbs?
Good backup if oh my gosh.
Did you just say Jimmy?
I live in a cave. I'm sorry. I live in a cave. It's confirmed. I'm living in a cave right now.
I can't believe you just said that. Jimmy?
Yeah, I did.
I'm surprised he didn't get sign somewhere to be a starter. Because last year,
Josh Dobbs, yeah, I was surprised too.
Last year for the Cardinals, he was pretty well, and then he went to the Vikings and was a backup.
But if Brock Purdy goes out, I would not mind having Josh Dobbs in there.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs is a good backup. Bengals and offensive tackle Trent Brown agreed to a 1-year deal. And then, here we go. Browns and wide receiver Jerry Jeudy agreed to a new contract. It was a 3-year extension worth up to $58 million with $41 million guaranteed. And Mike Williams signed a 1-year deal worth up to $15 million with the Jets. So Mike Williams to the Jets. Jerry Jeudy gets a contract extension. Bills agreed to a 3-year, $31 million extension with corner Teron Johnson.
Kept a really good piece. He played really solid last year. I don't know his exact stats, but I know he was one of the bright spots for the Buffalo defense.
Yeah. This one gets me upset. This next one, because there's a lot of speculation online that L'Jarius Sneed could potentially go to the Colts. There was some talks. Could he maybe go there? I've seen it. There was multiple reports from people saying that they had sources in the building that there were talks between the Colts and the Chiefs. People were linking him to the Colts because he commented on some posts, liked some stuff. But the Chiefs finalized the deal to trade L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans for a 2025 3rd-round pick and a 2024 7th-round pick swap.
I'm going to leave this one up to you.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we move on.
They negotiated some kind of new contract or something. I don't even care. I don't have it saved here. I hate the Titans, and I hate L'Jarius Sneed. That's all I got to say.
Amen. Preach, brother.
Falcons All-Pro and Pro Bowl returner Cordero Patterson leaves the Falcons, signs with the Steelers for a 2-year deal worth $6 million, and NFL altered the kickoff rules, which is going to be like the XFL rules, which I sent you a video of it.
Yeah.
Which, don't know how to feel about it. It's a little different.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys have mutually agreed to not sign an extension. So this would be his last year in Dallas, potentially.
Yeah, they have to prove it.
Next year could be the Dak Prescott free agency year. We'll have to wait and see. Another thing that I didn't talk to you about yet, but I had, gotten ready for the notes here. NFL owners voted to approve a trade deadline that will now be pushed back 1 week until the Tuesday after the Week 9 games. So they pushed back the trade deadline for another week, which is better because they extended the season by 1 week, so it makes more sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
And the trade deadline's been heating up the past couple of years. Like, it's been similar to the NBA trade deadline.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
A lot of big moves happening, so, it's interesting. Be later on in the season. Be pretty cool. Former Lions wide receiver Josh Reynolds is signing a 2-year deal worth up to $14 million with the Denver Broncos. And then just before we started, Jadeveon Clowney signed a contract with the Panthers. And that's all I have for the NFL news.
It's a lot of shit.
A lot. That's what happens when we don't do a podcast for like 2 weeks.
Well, it doesn't help that as soon as like it like kind of dropped, it's just been nonstop bang, bang, bang. Like it's just like every 2-3 hours, it's like another thing happening in the NFL.
Yeah, it's trade deadline time. Last episode I was talking about maybe doing a mock draft or like a draft rankings thing. I've had no time to do that. It's been all free agents, trades, all this other stuff. So hopefully next episode I can do like a little bit of a draft thing. Mm-hmm. Maybe have a mock draft. Maybe have like a top 5 positions or whatever.
Or at least a top 10.
Well, top 5 for each position, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, but also it's like at least a top 10 mock draft. Like top 10 picks.
Oh, I can at least have top 10 picks.
Yeah.
I want to do like the whole first round, though.
Yeah.
I don't want to do like multiple rounds, though. Just a 1 round.
Oh, dude, 7 rounds, bro. We're going to go 7 rounds.
I'll leave that up to the real NFL experts on TV, okay? Like, I could do 1 round, but that's about all. But, this is a longer one. We haven't done one this long in a while.
Hour and a half?
We're over the hour 40-minute mark.
Ooh, crunch times.
So, March Madness heating up. We're at the Sweet 16.
Mm-hmm. That's tomorrow.
NBA's heating up.
11 games,
11 games left. The NFL offseason's been going crazy. A lot of moves happening. Russell Wilson's a Steeler. Justin Fields is a Steeler.
Kirk Cousins is a ATL quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is
Kirko
in
Baines.
Atlanta. Yeah, Kirko
Chains, actually.
Kirko Chains. A lot of stuff's happening. A lot of stuff's going to continue to happen, and we're going to be here next week to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that, I have nothing else. Do you have anything?
This is my last... Like, am I sending them off here?
No.
Oh, I don't have anything.
All right. Well, for Sparkcast Media, if you want to follow us on social media, you go ahead and follow us at Sparkcast Media on all the social medias. X, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. We're on YouTube. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So if you hear us on YouTube, subscribe, like, whatever. If you listen on Apple or Spotify, leave us a review. Give us 5 stars. Make it nice. With that being said, I'm Austin. Brian, send them off.
Bingo, bongo, out.